media. Yes, Cleveland Brown reporters is pretty much saying that John Harbaugh is headed to Cleveland as early as next week. Jimmy Haslam doing everything he got to do to potentially land his coach. It was reported 15 minutes ago. The Browns will still request more interviews with head coaches candidates, including possible Bills OC, Rams DC, Packers DC, and who was the Browns DC coach in 14 and 15. So that means Jeff Hafley got some history there. Now, Kevin Stefanski made waves today because the Baltimore Ravens released a statement that they has conducted an interview with him.
Like, subscribe, and hit that bell.
Obviously, the biggest name that's been attached to the Browns coaching search has been John Harbaugh.
What I was told by a industry source who doesn't have intimate knowledge of Harbaugh, but just his speculation about these things. He's seen these coaching moves been made before. The salary would be around $20 million a year. I was told that Harbaugh would also want a very healthy budget for his assistant coaching staff in the range of $10 million a year. He would also want the primary say-so in roster building and perhaps his own personnel guy to lean on.
The NFL just got very interesting. A Browns insider says John Harbaugh could start working with Shedeur as soon as next week. If that's true, it helps explain many recent moves in Cleveland. What we're hearing now feels less like random talk and more like a real plan forming. The Browns are still checking out other coaching candidates, and that's expected. Teams have rules to follow, interviews to request, and options to keep open. But let's be real, when the same name keeps showing up in every serious discussion, it shows where the attention really is. John Harbaugh isn't just another name on a list. He's the benchmark. And if Cleveland truly wants to reset its culture, leadership, and direction, it makes sense to focus on someone who has already built a winning program. For a young quarterback like Shedeur, stability matters, and strong leadership matters too. How many young quarterbacks struggle simply because the organization never commits to a clear plan? That's where John Harbaugh becomes very important for Shedeur. Shedeur doesn't need chaos. He doesn't need mixed signals from the front office and coaches. He needs structure, honesty, and a coach who can lead veterans and young players together. Harbaugh has done this for years. He understands locker rooms, pressure, and expectations. If Shedeur is going to grow at the pro level, he needs someone who can block outside noise while still demanding responsibility. That balance is rare in this league. Can you really measure the value of a head coach who knows when to support his quarterback and when to push him? Looking at the bigger picture, this also suggests Cleveland may finally trust football people to make football decisions. A coach like Harbaugh doesn't walk in just to be a name. He wants alignment, a clear staff, roster vision, and long-term goals moving together. That kind of structure helps a quarterback like Shedeur by giving him consistency every year. No constant resets, no new systems every season, just progress. And if Cleveland truly wants to see what they have in Shedeur, isn't this the smartest way to do it? Supporting Harbaugh isn't only about the coach, it's about giving Shedeur the best chance to succeed.
Check it out.
I talked to a league insider who speculates on what he's heard about Harbaugh's prerequisites to even be interested in your job.
Okay.
$20 million a year.
Not a problem.
Not a problem. $10 million assistant coach budget.
Not a problem.
Okay. Total authority over the roster. And also would like to select his own guy to lean on, personnel guy.
Okay, so would he be making the draft picks? Like, you're going to ask this guy? That kind of makes me feel uneasy. Does he want more say over the roster than what he had in Baltimore?
Yes.
Ooh.
Which would be a total change in the structure here. I think there are 4 definite candidates for Harbaugh to end up with.
When you break this down calmly, the talk around John Harbaugh is not really about money at all. The money part is simple for teams like Cleveland, and everyone understands that. What truly matters is control and clarity. Harbaugh doesn't want to step into a situation where he is blamed for outcomes but has no real power to shape the roster. That makes sense from his perspective. If he's going to take on a new job at this point of his career, it has to be done his way. And for a young quarterback like Shedeur, that kind of setup can actually help. One voice, one plan, one direction. How many times have we seen young quarterbacks fail because too many people were pulling the strings at once? This is also where Shedeur fits into the story more than people want to admit. Harbaugh has always valued quarterbacks who are tough, confident, and smart with the football. Shedeur checks those boxes. It's not hard to believe Harbaugh wanted him badly in Baltimore and viewed him as someone he could build around long term. A coach like Harbaugh looks for traits that work best in the NFL. If he's asking for more control over the roster now, it likely means he wants to be sure the quarterback he believes in is fully supported. That means protection, coaching stability, and a system that truly fits Shedeur's strengths. Isn't that exactly what Shedeur needs at this stage? If Cleveland is even thinking about giving Harbaugh that level of authority, it shows they may finally be ready to commit to real quarterback development, not shortcuts, not quick fixes, real development. Harbaugh being there wouldn't just be about winning right away. It would be about building Shedeur the right way without rushing him or putting him in bad situations. And if Harbaugh truly sees Shedeur as his guy, then this move starts to make much more sense.
You see, the Ravens have just posted they completed an interview with Kevin Stefanski for their head coaching position.
Well, I don't like that.
How about that?
I would prefer that he go to the Giants with Jackson Dart. Yeah.
I don't know, because I know what you think about Jackson Dart. I think that means you think he's going to fail in New York.
No, I just know he has a better chance of succeeding in Baltimore, and I don't need that.
Lamar obviously gives everyone a better chance than what Jackson Dart is. There's like a clear, obvious, like, hey, good for you, Stefanski. But you're living up in Harbaugh's shadow. That's really tough shoes to fill.
This situation says a lot about Kevin Stefanski, and not in a good way. When you look back at how Shedeur was handled, the pattern is hard to ignore. He wasn't given meaningful reps when they truly mattered. He was pushed aside while others were prioritized, even when the offense clearly needed a spark. The so-called injury situation only made things worse because it felt more like an excuse than honesty. As a head coach, your job is to put players in the best position to succeed, not leave them guessing about their role. When a young quarterback is constantly sidelined or kept out of real game flow, that's neglect, and the coach is responsible. How is a player supposed to grow if the coach never fully commits to him? What makes it even more frustrating is the clear preference Stefanski showed for other options. Dillon Gabriel getting more trust and opportunity sent a loud message, whether it was intentional or not. That kind of decision-making doesn't just affect one player, it impacts the entire locker room. Shedeur wasn't just battling opponents, he was battling his own situation. There were moments when the offense stalled, games slipped away, and changes were needed, yet Shedeur still wasn't trusted. That's coaching stubbornness. And when those choices cost games and momentum, the blame falls on the coach, not the quarterback who never received a fair chance. At some point, you have to ask, was winning really the top priority, or was it about sticking with a personal favorite? Now, seeing Stefanski interview elsewhere adds another layer to this. It's hard not to feel like he's walking away from a mess he helped create. Living under John Harbaugh's shadow would be tough for anyone, especially when your own record with young quarterbacks raises questions. Stefanski had an opportunity to build something with Shedeur and didn't take it. Instead of developing talent, he limited it. Instead of protecting his quarterback, he surrounded him with doubt. That's why this criticism is justified. If Shedeur struggled at times, it wasn't just on him. It was on a coach who never truly believed in him. And that's something fans won't forget anytime soon.
It just isn't that. And even when that happens, it's no guarantee that that person is going to be a successful head coach coming from the coordinator level.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to be there, but someone like Mike McDaniel, is that enough for the Browns fans to get excited about, or is he just done too much in Miami that it's just going to end up being a meh hire and something they shouldn't actually be excited about?
I would say that I am intrigued by the prospect of a Mike McDaniel coming in and then, working. You would be able to keep Jim Schwartz in that particular case, right? Because that's an offensive guy, and you'd be able to keep the defense, and you would inject some more creativity into the offense. I think, him working with a guy like a Quinshawn Judkins would be good. I think McDaniel with a different quarterback, and God only knows who that would be with the Browns, and putting together a run game, you obviously need a lot better offensive linemen. Yeah, that's intriguing. I don't know if they're going to be excited about that, and I wouldn't blame them based on what we've seen from Miami over the course of the last 2 years. And, by the way, the Browns demolished the Miami Dolphins over the course of this season. So I would be intrigued, but I don't know if excited is the right word.
This is the real concern Browns fans should have when talking about coordinator-style hires. Just because someone designs creative plays or has a strong run as a coordinator doesn't mean they're ready to lead an entire team. Being a head coach is about more than schemes. It's about handling players, pressure, and tough decisions every single week. A coach coming straight from a coordinator role often needs time to learn those things. And Cleveland doesn't feel like a place that can afford another learning curve. For Shedeur, that matters a lot. He doesn't need a coach who is still learning how to run a building. He needs someone who already knows how to lead and shield a young quarterback from chaos. When you look at someone like Mike McDaniel, the idea sounds exciting on the surface. Creativity, offense-first thinking, and a modern run game all sound great, but results still matter. Miami has had talent and still struggled when it mattered most. That's not nothing. A coach who looks great on the whiteboard still has to adjust when defenses adapt, injuries pile up, and pressure increases. For Shedeur, the coach can't just be a play designer. He needs a teacher. Someone who can simplify the game, build confidence, and stay committed when things aren't perfect. A system that changes every time there's trouble would hurt him more than help him. At the end of the day, Shedeur needs a head coach who believes in structure, accountability, and development, not hype, not experiments. He needs clear roles, a reliable run game, strong protection, and a staff that speaks with one voice. That's how young quarterbacks survive in this league. Browns fans may be drawn to creative names, but excitement doesn't win games. Stability does. And if Cleveland truly wants to give Shedeur a fair chance, the coach they hire must know how to build around a quarterback, not just draw plays for one. At the end of the day, if the Browns are serious about developing Shedeur, they need a head coach who brings stability and belief, not experiments. If you agree, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. Do you think Cleveland needs experience or creativity to get this right?